Hi friends, welcome to virtual learning. Friends, we are learning third poem, that is the Inchcape Rock. We have learned seven stanzas of this poem. We have completed. See here the stanzas. This one, three, this fifth stanza. That is, we have completed how the environment that was in the ocean and how that surges swell. The mariners heard the warning bell that the perilous rock, about that Inchcape rock, about of Aberbrothock, had installed that bell on that rock so that the mariners could save their life. And here, see here the friends, Sir Ralph the Rover had seen that speck, darker speck, that is a black spot on that ocean, on that reef. That was the bell, Inchcape bell. Here we have seen up to this stanza. We have seen here, see here the cursor here. Second one, he felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. Here, up to this, we have seen the meanings, the state of condition of Sir Ralph the Rover, happy. That's why he is whistling or singing some tune. His heart that joy, and behind his joy there is a wickedness. And what wickedness, that let us see ahead in next stanza. Here friends, this one, his eyes was on the Inchcape float. Quoth he, my men put out the boat, and I row me to the Inchcape rock, and I will plague the bout of Aberbrothock. Here the eighth stanza. His eyes was on that Inchcape float, on that bell, and he said, here, quote means here archaic words use here old English. In old English, such types of word that words are known as archaic words. So he said means quote means here said. He said, my men, put out the boat, means take me up to that rock and row me to the Inchcape rock. Row me to the Inchcape rock. I will plague the boat of Aberbrothock. What he said, his desire, said to his men, I will plague, means I will disturb that abbot of Aberbrothock. I will give pain to abbot of Aberbrothock. That is a plague, means here cause pain or trouble. Means here this pirate, Sir Ralph the Rover, wanted to give trouble to abbot of Aberbrothock. We know that abbot of Aberbrothock had installed that bell and he wanted to remove, means here Sir Ralph the Rover wanted to remove that bell. Here the next stanza. The boat is lowered, the boatman row, and as per the wish of his their owner, boatman, sailors, row that boat, means sail that boat, their boat, lowered the boatman row, and the Inchcape, and to the Inchcape rock they go. They went there, Inchcape rock. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and Sir Ralph bent over from the boat and cut the bell from the Inchcape float. And he cut the bell from Inchcape float. Means bent over his boat only, and he cut the bell. Here the picture from the boat only. He cut that bell because he wanted to give pain to abbot of Aberbrothock. He wanted to destroy that bell, that no one will recognize or no one will praise abbot of Aberbrothock. So he said, I will plague the abbot of Aberbrothock. Here, ninth stanza we have completed. See friends, here he cut that bell, and what happened? Down sung the bell with gurgling sound. Now down sung the bell with gurgling sound. The bubbles rose and burst around. Means when he cut that bell from the boat, then the bell down sung, gurgling sound, making sound. Here, friends, gurgling itself giving the sound, itself reflects sounds. So The bubbles rose, burst around, and what happened? That bell drowned in that water, and bubbles rose, burst. Upper side, quote Sir Ralph. Once again said Ralph, said, the next who comes to the rock won't bless the about of our brother. He said that no one will bless now, no one will remember now about of our brother. Friends, here, when the rover, means here Ralph Rover, sir, Ralph Rover spotted the bell, he cut the bell from the boy. This was an act of what? Hatred, anger, jealousy, frustration. Means here from these four options we have to choose. That is the, I think, jealousy. Here it is the act of jealousy. He jealous about that about of Aberbrother, that good person. Now see here the gurgling sound. Here find the figure of speech. Means I just told you this gurgling itself gives sound. And when a word itself gives sound, reflects sounds, at that time that figure of speech is known as onomatopoeia. So see here onomatopoeia we will see last also. Next, the Ralph the Rover sailed away. Now what happened? He cut that bell and he sailed away. He scoured the seas for many days. Many days he scoured the seas. Means here he traveled in sea, in that ocean, and now grown rich with plunder store. Grown rich, and he became very rich after looting that so many ships were there, and he is a pirate. That's why he looted ships and he grown rich. He become very rich after looting plunder store. See here the meaning, big amount of looted wealth. Looted means here looted. The same word in Marathi, loot also the same meaning, and here loot also in English that is the same meaning words. Here here plunder store big amount of loot, and he become very rich after his voyaging. After that traveling, he just traveled really energetically in ocean and for ships and rob that ships another ships. He steers his course up. He steers his course for Scotland shore. Then he return. Once again he return. Steers his means give direction. Direction directs to the course of ship. And once again he returned. And now his return journey started. So thick a haze overspread the sky. They cannot see the sun on high. Now what happened? Up to that, his environment was good. And now after returning, means returning journey, what happened? Thick haze, means here mist, or we can say fog, overspread the sky. Means in the sky there was a mist, fog. They cannot see the sun on high. That's why, due to that mist, they cannot see the sun high. The wind hath blown a gale all day. The wind hath means here once another, either here hath means has. So archaic, once again archaic words use here. Words, so many archaic words are there in this poem. You have to find out and write. The wind had blown a gale all day, means that wind producing musical tune. That is a gale all day, very fluently or very producing musical note. That wind blow. At evening, it had died away. And what happened at evening? It had died away. Means whatever the wind was there, blowing very slowly or producing musical tune, that vanished. Evening. Now what happened? Died away. That tone or that gale died away. Means here atmosphere become different. Now here it become different. On the deck, the rovers take his stand. So dark it is, so dark it is, they see no land. Quote Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon, for there is the dawn of rising. Then what happened? On the deck, is upper portion of ship, that is a deck, the rover takes his stand and he see around, and so dark it is. It was very dark. they see no land. Means they means here sailors also and he also. Quote Sir Ralph. Once again he said Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon. It will be lighter soon. For there is the dawn of rising moon. Why? There is the dawn of rising moon. When a moon will rise, it will lighter soon. Means it spreads light, moonlight, and we will see something. He said, Ralph, canst, canst here, said one, the breaker's rower, for me think we should be near the shore. What happened? Another sailor, means one of the sailor, he said, what he said? I can hear the breakers roar, means hear the sound of waves. I can hear the breakers, means here it is a question mark. Can't hear, can hear, said one, means here sailor. The breakers roar means the noise or the waves sound. For me thinks means here once again I think. And we should be near the shore. And we should be near the shore means shore will be near. That's why some breakers roar or the noise that he listen. Now where we are, I cannot tell. And he said, now where we are, I cannot tell. Exact location where we are, I cannot tell. Means unable to uh, predict or said. But I wish I could hear Inchcape bell. Another sailor said, but I wish I could hear the Inchcape bell. Means he could hear the warning of Inchcape bell. What happened? Friends, Sir Ralph the Rover had cut that bell and destroyed that bell. So how they will listen? Warning bell. There will be no warning bell. So but that sailor may forgot all these things. That's why next stanza, methinks means here, I think, archaic words once again, I told you previously. They hear no sound, the swell is strong. Now what happened? They hear no sound, the swell is strong. Swell means here the high tide or the waves, water, means that was strong. Though the wind had or the storm in the sea, though the wind had fallen, they drift along. And now wind had fallen means has fallen, they drift along. Means move slowly, slowly. Now wind had fallen and blowing, and they drift means traveled or sailed slowly, move slowly, till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. What happened? At the same time, the vessel means your ship strikes or struck a shivering shock, got or received a shock. And oh Christ, it is the Inchcape rock. Oh Christ. Now one of the sailors say that cried, oh Christ, oh God, it is the Inchcape rock. Means their ship struck there and they received shock, and one of them said, oh Christ, God, oh God, it is Inchcape rock. Their ship struck on that Inchcape rock. Sir Ralph the Rover tore his hair. And what happened? Sir Ralph the Rover, that wicked pirate, Tore had pulled his hair, here, crushed himself in his despair, and he crushed, means he just crushed himself, means whatever the anger, he just burst out himself on, right? Because why? Because he had cut that bill, and because of that, accident took place. Because they didn't listen warning bell, and that's why their ship struck on the same rock, Inchcape rock. So he crushed himself, and in his despair the waves rushed in every side. And what happened? The waves rushed in as their ship wrecked. Waves gush out or come into their ship, rush in every side. The ship is sinking beneath the tide. What happened? The ship is sinking, drowning beneath the tide. Dear friends, he thinks, I think, drift, move slowly. Oh Christ, it is the Inchcape rock. What made Ralph the Rover to exclaim this line? Means Ralph the Rover himself exclaimed this line, oh Christ, it is the Inchcape rock. Another sailor was there also. They hear no sound, and though the wind had fallen drift along, and here they strike on that Inchcape rock. They received shivering shock, and in that shock, at that time, only Sir Ralph the Rover said these things. Oh Christ, means he remembered Christ. Why? Because he knew that he had cut the veil. That's why ultimately, finally, he just remember God. Now God only will save. So he remember. Oh Christ made what made Sir Ralph to attempt this line means ultimately he came to know what he had done. So that's why repent. Now it is a no way of repent now. How? It will now their ship will definitely sinking beneath, drown beneath the tide. Means all sailors and their ship and whatever they have plundered or the whatever the looted amount, he became very rich that everything that drowned with the ship and they died there. They are the next. But even in his dying fear, now he in his dying fear, means now definitely Sir Ralph will going to meet death. So at that time, he hear one dreadful sound could the rover hear. One dreadful sound could the rover means this Ralph the rover hear as a sound as if with the Inchcape bell. And that the sound as if how it was, that was the as if the Inchcape bell that was ringing. The devil below was ringing his name. The devil below means devil below. Below means in ocean. Ringing. Devil means here Satan, or we can say Satan. No, here in our mythology, Indian mythology, we can say Yamdut. Devil below was ringing his knell. Here his knell means here the announcement, death announcement. The funeral announcement was there, and that sound, the ringing of sound of final ultimate sound, that is to himself, devil himself, that was ringing his knell. Here the knell, the sound of bell rung solemnly after death at the funeral announcement of death. So every person, sailors and Sir Ralph the rover, died that action. Ultimately, he got his punishment. Whatever he had done, that was wrong, and wrong his wrong deeds that is punished. Here, ultimately, in this poem, poetic catharsis that happened, poetic justice that is given. So Robert Southey has given poetic justice. This wicked person punished finally. So here, friends, we have completed this poem, and on this poem, some figures of speech are there. Let us see figures of speech. Figures of speech: alliteration, sound repetition in a quick succession. That is the consonant sound. Here the examples are there. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. Here n sound that is repeated. Stir, yes, sir, stir, and stir, that is yes sound. Here it is repeated consonant sound repeated in a succession, so that's why it is alliteration. And over the waves, it's a warning rung. Waves and warning rung. Here v sound that is repeated. When the rock was high by the surge swell, yes sound once again repeated. Till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. Strike, sir, shivering, sir, shock, sir. This is repeated, this sound, consonant sound. Saral, the rover, R here. R sound is repeated. His hair, tore his hair. His, her, here, her is repeated. So, next example, the ship is sinking beneath the tide. Yes sound is repeated. So, here, friends, alliteration that happened. Here, the next figure of speech, personification. Inanimate thing that is personified as a means a non-living thing as a living thing. Ship was as still as she could be. Here use that as still she could be. Means here ship is personified as a woman. So that's why it is personification. Here the next inversion. Inversion means here it is the prose order is incorrect. Down sung the bell with a gurgling sound. Here the prose order is incorrect. So in this figure of speech, you have to give the correct order. The bell sung down with a gurgling sound. This is the correct order. So you have to give that. Second example, on a buoy in the storm, it floated and swung. Here also prose order is incorrect. Means you have to give the explanation like this. Write the explanation like this only. So the correct prose order is, and correct prose order, it floated and swung on a buoy in the storm. So this, in this way you have to write. Next, on the deck, the rover takes his stand. Correct order is the rover takes his stand on the deck. Means your subject, verb, object, this type of that. Onomatopoeia. Now, what is onomatopoeia? Downsung the bell with gurgling sound. I explain you while teaching, explaining gurgling sound. Here, gurgling word reflects itself sound, means giving the sound itself. So, gurgling. Another example is like that, helter skelter, or the scatter clang, bang, window bang, with means this bang, clatter, these words giving sound itself. So, friends, it's very easy. Apostrophe means address to someone. Here it is, oh Christ, address to God. Here it is address to Christ, means God. Apostrophe. Repetition. Now what is repetition? Here once again, no stir in the air, no stir in the sea. Means here no word is repeated. When the word is repeated, so it is repetition. Stir and no is repeated. Now simile. See here the example. The ship was as still as she could be. Here using the word as and like, when we compare directly, so using the word as and like, so at that time figure of speech simile. So here ship was as still as she could be. Friends, we have completed this poem. So thank you very much for watching my video, and whatever the activities you have to complete in your work,